Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. So, this is a bit of a video just to give a little life update and talk about some stuff that's been going on. So, as mentioned in my Do the Obscure video, my dad had been ill and he'd had an operation. I think I filmed that video the day after his operation. From what I can remember, it's a big blur, but I'm pretty sure it was the day after his operation that I filmed that, without actually referring to my previous video. Anyway, and since then, various things have been going on. Obviously, I had the rest of my leave and I got to celebrate my birthday with my mum and dad, which was lovely. And then my dad fell ill again. And he has been in hospital. He left hospital on Friday, late Friday afternoon. So I am actually going to see him today because I wasn't able to see him yesterday. And yeah, he'd spent all of that time up until Friday afternoon in hospital with a really severe infection. And yeah, it was a bit rubbishy time. I was also back at work and I just felt like I just wasn't in a good place to read, and so I just wasn't reading. Instead, I was writing and I was doing puzzles and I was watching loads of TV stuff, and I got through both series of Rome, which I'd never watched before. I was watching loads of dramas with Martin Constant and films, and because suddenly like Martin Constant was like my world for a while. not in like a weird like crazy way, but you know how sometimes you just connect to something and you're like, right, I need to know everything about that. That's what it was like. I did get to see a couple of films. I went to see The Little Mermaid and I went to see Greatest Days, both of films I loved. And we had Taylor Swift release Speak Now, Taylor's version. So it just kind of feels like, with the build up to my leave, because as mentioned previously, I'd gotten really quite stressed out with work and my dad had fallen ill, and then on my leave, looking after my mum and dad, and then dad having his operation and such, and then he left hospital, he was back in hospital, and I was back at work. It just kind of felt like this past month or so has been a lot going on, and so much so that I have completely lost track of the concept of time. I cannot remember the last time that I filmed myself. And I've read like 2 books, I think in like 2 months or something. It's crazy. But yesterday I woke up and I was like, right, I really want to read. And I sat down with The Lake House, which I reviewed in my other video. And I read 400 pages in a day. And it felt so good. And now I feel like I'm more back to myself. And I think obviously having my dad out of hospital and everything, that has really helped. He does have to have another operation, that's going to be in a couple of weeks' time at least, and fingers crossed it won't be anything like his previous operation and he won't have to go through all of the infection horror that he did. But the reason why I'm here for this video is to explain that because I was sort of here, there and everywhere and everything, I bought some books. Now, I hadn't bought books yet so far the year, and to be honest, that thing of the, obviously it was my birthday and a lot of crazy shit was going on, and not in a good headspace or whatever. I'm going to completely allow myself to have done this. It just happened. It's one of those things. It happened, and it's not like I've been constantly doing that, breaking my own rules constantly, like, claiming, almost like, because let's face it, buying books and having books for somebody who's obsessed with books is kind of like an addiction. And it's not like I've been lying to everyone and going, no, I've been clean, I'm not doing anything, and actually buying books like every single week. Nothing like that. It was just a case of, I really want to buy these. And my sister, she said to me, just buy them. Just do that. It doesn't bloody matter at the end of the day. So I did. And so I'm here to show you the books that I got. And it wasn't, 1 or 2. It was all of these. It was 8 books in total. So I'm showing you this side because I'm not going to show you the spines until I show them one by one to show you what I got. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about new books that are going into the jar of randomness. So let's go through them. So the first one is a book that I bought because the cover made me stop walking in a bookshop. I just saw it and I was like, holy shit, that is an amazing cover. And it is Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. How incredible is that cover? I'm sorry, that is just like, wow. So it's set in Edinburgh in 1817, a Gothic tale full of mystery and romance. So despite being thrown out of Dr. Beecham's lectures, Hazel is determined not to compromise her ambitions. But without official lessons, Hazel would need more than just her books. She needs a corpse to study. Luckily, she's just made the acquaintance of someone who digs them up for a living. Unfortunately, Jack has his own problems. Dangerous men are skulking around the cemeteries, his friends are disappearing off the streets, and the city slums are plagued with a mysterious illness. No one seems to care, until Hazel. With so much on the line, Hazel and Jack must work together to uncover the secrets buried beyond the unmasked graves in the very heart of Edinburgh society. I was like, hell yeah, that sounds totally my thing. Gothic fiction with the most gorgeous cover. It's just, oh, it just screams. And Victorian as well. You know, I love Victorian fiction. I think it's great. So yeah, it's like, yeah, that is right up my alley. So that's the first one. Now the second one, weirdly, was on an area with like Bridgerton books and such, and I love Bridgerton and everything. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. The cover very much fits the world. I was like, oh, this is a romance novel. And then I noticed the two people down here with smoking guns, and I was like, what is this? So it's the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. And it says, Cecilia Bassingthwaighte belongs to a very prestigious circle of women, the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. Yet this is no ordinary Victorian lady society. These women spend their days pickpocketing and blackmailing their way around the country, all before it's time to sit down for tea. But when Cecilia meets Ned Lightbourne, her world is set to change forever, because he's a paid assassin, and she's his next hit. Under the employment of the dastardly Captain Morvoth, who wants to rid the world of the lady scoundrels, Ned knows he has one job to do. But when he lays eyes on the feisty, beautiful Cecilia, he's faced with a conundrum. Does he kill her or fall in love with her? Bridgerton meets Peaky Blinders in this swashbuckling tale of scandals in society, crime and comforts. And these enemies turn to allies and might just fall in love along the way. And I was like, hell yeah, I love that. I still haven't watched Peaky Blinders. I still haven't, and I need to. So I think that might be the next TV series I need to, binge. But yeah, I was like, oh hell yeah, I am in. And I just love the fact that we've got like daggers and cups of tea and everything, and guns and that in the design. I think that book cover is absolutely incredible. So those two, I'm like, book covers, yes. Okay, now the third one I bought because of a TV drama, which I have watched, I think, 4 times now. And it's Magpie Murders by Anthony Schwartz. Sorry, not Anthony Schwartz. Anthony Horowitz. I was thinking Danish from the first one. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Anthony Horowitz. So Magpie Murders, I started watching the drama with my mum. I was just over at my mum and dad's house for one of our regular Sunday get-togethers, and we stuck it on the first episode. I really, really liked it. And so I went home and I watched the rest of the series, and I absolutely loved it. And I watched it again and again and again. And so I was like, I need to get the book. I know that the book is structured quite differently from the drama, because I watched there's YouTube interviews with Anthony talking about the difference between TV screenwriting and book writing, and how he compared his novel structure to the TV drama. But I was just like, I don't care. I want to read this. So, 7 for a mystery that needs to be solved. Crime writer Alan Conway has been a best-selling author for years. Readers love his detective Atticus Punt, a celebrated solver of crimes in sleepy England villages in the 1950s. But Conway's latest tale of murder at Pye Hall is not quite what it seems. Yes, there are dead bodies and a host of intriguing suspects, but hidden in pages of manuscript lies another story, a tale written between the very words of the pages, telling of a real-life jealousy, greed, ruthless ambition, and murder. So, Magpie Murders, again, gorgeous cover. I'm loving book cover designs of the load that I have bought. I love it. Right, so the next one is actually a book that my mum is desperate to read. So I think I might take my copy to her house today and say, look, if you want to read it, because I'm not going to get to this for a while, read it. And that is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garnis. So this was a big favorite of books last year, and I just realized that I've left this sticker on the cover. You know what, I'm just going to wait and peel that off in a bit. This got really a lot of attention, and Mum really wanted to read it. She told me about it, and I read the back of the book, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. But that was back when it first got released. I read the back of the book, and then it came out in paperback recently, and I was like, I'll get the paperback. So I did. So it says, chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. In fact, Elizabeth Zott would be the first to point that out, that there's no such thing. But it's the early 1960s, and her all-male team at Hastings Research Institute take a very unscientific view of equality. Forced to resign, she reluctantly signs on as the host of a cooking show, Supper at 6. But her revolutionary approach to cooking, fueled by scientific and rational commentary, grabs the attention of a nation, and soon a legion of overlooked housewives find themselves daring to change the status quo, one molecule at a time. I just love the sound of that it's about a female scientist in the 1960s encouraging women to go into science. I really like that. Through food, I like that. So Lessons in Chemistry is the next one. Okay, then we've got a non-fiction. I think it's my only non-fiction. Let me just absolutely double check. Yes, it is. It's the only non-fiction, and it's a non-fiction book which for a while I've been seeing around, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it, because like my sister said, just buy it, just let it go. Don't worry about having this rule this year that you can't buy any books. Just, if you need to, buy it. So I did. And it's A Daughter's Love by John Guy. I haven't read any of John's books before, but this is about Thomas and Margaret More. So Thomas More worked for Henry VIII. He had dealings with the marriages to various wives and everything, and Henry chopped his head off. And he had his daughter, Margaret. They were very close to each other, and they had this amazing bond with each other. And after Thomas had died, Margaret had fought to keep her father's legacy going. And but there aren't many books out there, I don't think, that have been written about them, their relationship. So I was like, you know what, I want to read John's take on it. So although the life of Sir Thomas More is one of the most famous in British history, his daughter Margaret has been almost forgotten. This is despite the fact that she played a leading role in the very public drama, acting as her father's sole I cannot speak today. Intermediary with the outside world during his imprisonment. and ensuring that his legend lives on after his execution. In his fascinating double biography, John Guy returns a source from the time previously ignored by generations of historians in an effort to restore the memory of Margaret. A Daughter's Love is a gripping tale of how love, loyalty, and domestic happiness can be overwhelmed by ambition, treachery, and deceit. From the Whitbread winning author of My Heart Is My Own. So there we go. Non-fiction book. There. Now, the next one, I'm a little annoyed that I got the drama tie-in cover. Not that I don't like the drama tie-in cover, but at the same time, I'm like, I do prefer, unless it's something that stands out that I could go, yeah, I don't mind that being on my shelf like Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth when all of the others are the standard covers. For me, I prefer to get the original cover, and I could not get the original cover of this book, but here we go. It's Our House by Louise Candlish. I nearly said Cavendish then. No, Candlish. So, as you can see, there's Martin Compston, because I was going through his various dramas and I watched Our House and I found it quite interesting. And so I was like, you know what, I want to see about getting the book, and I found the book for like £4 and I was like, oh yeah, let's go for that. And then I found it was the tie-in cover, but I couldn't get the original cover, so it's not bad, but I'm like, I would have preferred the original if it was me, but there we go. So on a bright morning in the London suburbs, a family moves into a house that they've just bought on Trinity Avenue. Nothing strange about that, except it's your house and you didn't sell it. That's the whole blurb. That's all you get. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, because if I reveal more about the plot, I could potentially give away quite a few spoilers, because there's lots of twists and turns in this. I really enjoyed the drama. I thought it was a good little drama. Was surprised by the ending, so I was like, you know what, let's get the book, let's read it. So I got the book. That's Our House. Okay, then the next one is, again, because of Martin Compston drama, which I watched on ITVX. It's on the premium collection bit, so you have to pay to see it. But I'm so glad I got the original cover. So glad. And it's The Ice Cream Girls by Dorothy Coomson. So this drama, I went into it not knowing what this was about whatsoever, and I'm so glad I did, because holy shit, I wasn't expecting what I saw. And Martin Compston, I mean, I've seen him play a variety of roles, but he plays a very nasty character, and I'm saying it that way because if I say it another way I'm going to reveal spoilers. And I was like, holy shit, I've never seen him play, out of what I'd seen up to that point, to emphasize, I'd never seen him play such a nasty, multi-personality, let's put it that way, kind of a character. So yeah, I liked it. I liked Martin Compston playing him. Just to clarify, I didn't like his character, but yes, but it's the Ice Cream Girls. So Serena and Poppy were teenagers when they were branded the Ice Cream Girls. When they were accused of murder, one of them was sent to prison, the other was set free. Now, 20 years later, one of them is doing all she can to clear her name, and the other is frantically trying to keep her secrets. Which Ice Cream Girl is desperate enough to kill to get what she wants? I'm really quite excited to read this one, I have to say. Really quite excited. And then the final book is one that has been following me around for, it was pre-Christmas. So I think it was around November of last year. I think it was sort of November, December last year was when I first noticed it. And we are now in July. So it's been about 8 to 9 months this book has been following me, and it's now in paperback. And as I said, my sister said, just buy it, just don't worry about it. And it is The Enigma of Room 622 by Joel Dicker. Now, I've never read any of Joel's work. I don't know his writing whatsoever. And actually, I think, yeah, once again, all the books that I've bought are by authors that I've never read their works previously. So that's not a bad thing. But I was like, look at that cover. Look at that cover. That is a thing of beauty. My God, I love that. And it says, it all starts with the innocuous curiosity. At the Hotel de Verbre, I'm probably mispronouncing that entirely, there is no room 622. This anomaly piques the interests of Joel Dicker, Switzerland's most famous literary star, who has fled to the Alps to recover from a breakup, mourn the death of his publisher, and begin his next novel. Before he knows it, he's coaxing out of his slump by a fellow guest who quickly uncovers the reason behind room 622's erasure, an unsolved murder. The attendant circumstances, a love triangle, and a power struggle at the heart of Switzerland's largest private bank, a mysterious counterintelligence unit, and a shadowy imagery with more money than God. A Russian doll of a mystery crafted with the precision of a Swiss watch, the Enigma of Room 622 by Joel Dicker's most diabolically addictive thriller yet. I mean, that cover has been following me for like 9 months. How could I not buy it? So there we go. The Enigma of Room 622. So those are the 8 books that will be going into my jars to read. I desperately want to read the last 3 that I indicated right away. Then followed by Magpie Murders, The Mysterious Society of Lady Scoundrels, and Anatomy. Then Lessons in Chemistry, and then A Daughter's Love. But obviously it depends on what I pick and everything. But yeah, I really want to read The Ice Cream Girls, Our House, and The Enigma of Room 622. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, so now I suddenly feel like I bought those books. Obviously, been through a lot of stress and everything with work, had my holiday, Dad being ill, but he's better now and he's out of hospital. And now I just have that want to read again. I feel like I'm getting back to myself. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I'm still just going to continue to read at my pace. And I have been writing a lot as well. So I have been filling my time. It's not just been, distracting myself and watching TV and all that lot. I've been, writing a lot. I've been doing loads of jigsaws, that kind of thing, just to clear my head. And I feel like now I've gotten back to myself, so I can get back into reading. So I'm very much looking forward to rereading The Secret Keeper and getting that to you as soon as I'm done. But yeah, I was just in a sort of weird limbo state, as it were, for the past month or so. But I'm doing good. I am back into reading, back into the flow, and yeah, so hopefully you'll be seeing me a lot more soon, and you'll forgive me for buying books when I was in a bit of a low ebb, but there's a lot worse things I could have bought, as it were, in this world, other than books. So yeah. And on that note, I'm going to finish this video, and yeah, I will be back with my thoughts on the Secret Keeper as soon as I'm done. All right then, guys, bye.